As you know, I'm a survivalist prepper, hence the name Random Survivalist. And part of that is baking, making your own food, preserves, uh, just being prepared all around. And a lot of that is knowledge. If you don't know how to make something, your life is going to be pretty boring in a survival situation. So I like to bake and preserve and bake things for my family. And I've recently got into making bread. I have made regular bread, and in this video I'm going to try something different and add raisins and cinnamon to a loaf. So if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, support me on my channel. It'd be very appreciated. Enjoy the video. Hello YouTube. I'm doing a video today on making bread. I have made bread a couple times, and I'm going to be using a recipe out of the Company Cumming cookbook. And the recipe I'm going to be using is this water bread. It turns out really well. My family loves it. Today I'm going to be making two half batches, but the one batch I'm going to do some experimenting and add raisins and cinnamon. Okay, so I'll get started and come back as I proceed, since I don't have a tripod for a camera. See you in a bit. Okay, so now I have two batches, half batches of the recipe. 2.5 cups flour, half tablespoon salt, 1.25 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of yeast in each. The only difference is this, I put in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for the raisin bread. Now I'll make a well and add my water and oil and mix it up. Now I added 2 cups of water and 1/8 cup of oil to the regular batter, and 2 cups of water, 1/8 cup of oil, and I added a cup of plumped raisins, which is just soaked raisins in hot water for 45 minutes to an hour. Now I cover it with tea towel and put it in the oven with the light on and no heat to let it rise for 10 minutes, I believe. Yes, 10 minutes. I still have to check the recipe, even though I've made this before. Okay, now the 10 minutes is over, and I can take the dough out of the oven. And what I'll do is add up to 3 cups more flour to each one. And until the dough is firm. Then I'll turn it out and knead it for, it says 8 to 10 minutes, but I rarely do it for even 5 minutes. I just go until it's elastic and firm. That's the raisin bread, and that's the normal. You can see the yeast is working. It's bubbling up. And there's bubbles in that one too. So I'll add the remaining flour and knead it, and I'll come back. Okay, I added 2.5 cups to the regular bread of flour and 3 cups to the raisin bread of flour. I didn't compensate for the extra amount from adding the raisins. The raisins added some moisture as well, so I've got a little bit more mass on the raisin bread. The other thing I did was I mixed the raisin bread batter first and didn't clean my hands off and started kneading the regular bread. So there's probably some cinnamon in the regular bread, which isn't really going to make much difference, I don't think. Maybe give it a little bit of a cinnamon taste, that's about it. So now I'll turn them both out and knead them for around 5 minutes. I usually do. Recipe, like I said, says 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, but I think that's excessive. I will come back once that is done. Okay, now I have both batters or dough kneaded. I only did it for about 4 or 5 minutes, like I said. This time I did the regular bread first, so that I wouldn't matter if I cross-contaminated to the raisin bread. So my next step is to cover with tea towels and put it in the oven with no heat and the light on for 1.25 hours. At that point, I'll come back and we'll see what we got and continue. The dough has been in the oven for 1 hour and 15 minutes, rising. We'll take them out now and see how they look. That is the normal bread, and this is the raisin bread. The next step is to punch them down and cut them into loaves. So I'll do that and I'll come back when I have them in the loaf pan. I forgot to show you what they look like after they rise. To me, this is the most satisfying part. See how much they've risen. They've both doubled in size. The only reason that looks bigger is because the bowl's smaller. So yeah, now I'll punch them down and divide them into the pans. I now have the dough in the pans. The only thing is now, before you put it in the oven to raise with the light on, with the raisin bread, you want to take your wooden spoon in and push any raisins down into the bread, as cooked or burnt raisins really don't taste that well. They have a really bitter, not very pleasant taste. If you've ever had raisin bread from the store, you'll know this. So I'll put it in the oven. Has to rise for 45 minutes. And then we will bake it. And I'll be back when I put it in to the oven to bake. So the bread has been raising for 45 minutes. This is the raisin bread. This is the regular bread. They both almost doubled in size. And before we go in, I want to do the customary. If you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. So I can already tell you, these ones will raise a little bit more, and these ones will be a little bit flatter. Not sure why that is, but it is what it is. They'll both taste really good, way better than bought-in bread, so I'm not too concerned. The only thing left is to bake them at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes. After that, I'll take them out and show you what we have. Well, the bread's out of the oven. This is my raisin bread. It turned out awesome. This is my regular bread. The one that was flatter did raise a little bit. I may not have separated them evenly, so that's why one is smaller than the other. And that's the same with the raisin bread. The raisin bread seemed to rise a lot more. I don't know, might have been more volume. Like I said, the raisins added more volume, and I put a little bit more flour in the raisin bread. So the next thing I'm gonna do is kind of baste it with some margarine. That keeps the crust a little bit softer. My daughter doesn't like hard crust. I wish I could explain the smell right now. It's absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to cut into one of these and try it out. So I'll let them cool a little bit. Baste them with the margarine, and you can use margarine, butter, probably oil if you want. And then I'll cut one or two, one of the regular and one of the raisin apart, and show you what it's like inside, and maybe have a taste test. See you in a bit. Okay, I cut a piece off the bread. I may have done it prematurely, but I don't have the patience. But as you can see, it's nice and fluffy. The white bread looks delicious, smells even better. And then the raisin bread. None of the raisins are hard and burnt. Should be really good. I will butter a piece and give it a taste test of the raisin bread, because I haven't had it before. Homemade, that is. So now is the big taste test. I picked the raisin bread to have the taste test because, well, you know, everything's better with raisins. So, I don't know if you can see that. I don't want the butter to run off, but isn't that tasty? And I eat the ends because my daughter doesn't really like the crust. So, cheers. That turned out better than I could ever hope. Not too much cinnamon. Might be able to put a little bit more cinnamon in it, but we get a raisin and looks like a raisin in every bite. Again, if you like this video, please share, like, and subscribe. Very important to share videos. Gets my content out there. So you all have a good day now. Cheers.